Hey chat, how you doing? How's it going? Welcome to today's stream, and it is a very special stream for a couple of reasons. First of all, as you can tell from the title, it's WarioWare D.I.Y's 13th birthday today. 13 years ago, Nintendo graced us with a very, very special game that's very close to my heart. But even more special than that, we have a very special guest today, who I will be introducing very shortly. But before I do, let's say some hellos, because I can see we've got lots of folks here ready to join us for today's stream. So, I'd like to say hello to Arch, Chalupa Joe, Movies XP, Mr. O, Panic, Elite Octo, Movies XP, Bari, good to see you all. And yeah, we've been listening to a cover by today's special guest. I will post the link again to this track and bring the volume down on this before we get started. So, as you've seen in the title, today we have Squishy Pixels with us, who is a wonderful YouTuber and specifically a music creator who often makes music in WarioWare D.I.Y, an extraordinary amount of music in WarioWare D.I.Y, but also in Mario Paint. I've known Squishy through her channel for quite a while, and it is such an honor to have her with us today for this birthday celebration for WarioWare D.I.Y. Squishy, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Hey! Good to see you, or to hear you, I suppose. Welcome to the stream. As I was saying, it's been something I wanted to do for a while, and what better occasion than to celebrate this special game. Bear with me 1 second while I make sure that we got everything good here. Chat, how is Squishy's audio sounding? Is it coming through okay? Should be okay.
I should probably say words just so they can check.
Do you want to give us a little introduction to yourself and to your channel, if that's not too difficult a question?
Of course. Well, as Dom said, I'm Squishy Pixels. And I've been making song covers in WarioWare D.I.Y for over half a decade. That's scary. And I've been dabbling into Mario Paint and making covers in more traditional ways as well. And I do sometimes other bits and pieces online as well.
Yeah, so if you haven't already, definitely go check out Squishy Pixels' channel. There is a link in the description of this stream. Go subscribe. The Squishy's constant feed of covers is such a joy. Every time I see a new one pop up on my YouTube home screen, it's a guaranteed click straight away and always brightens my day. Yeah, Curbs Workshop in chat says, I like your stuff. There's lots of hellos. If there's any messages that you spot in chat, Squishy, I'm not sure if you've got chat open, but feel free to respond as we get along. Let's see if my new scenes are all working, because I had to set up some new scenes for the emulator here. I mean, my totally legit DS.
Oh, yes.
Hey, that looks like it's working. Okay. So, let me run the emulation, and by the emulation, of course, I do again mean the very legit DS. There we go. Hopefully the audio is coming through for you, Squishy. Hopefully the audio is coming through for chat. I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of nervous. It's been a long time since I've played any DIY. I suppose with the brief exception of the time that I kind of dived back into DIY. Really, my first live streams on this channel were mostly DIY streams. I spent, I think, about 30 streams doing DIY, and I had so much fun, both going through the inbuilt games, the dojo, and making my own things. And I think the plan for
those.
Yeah, and I think the plan for today will be to make a very simple game, see how far we go. We'll probably stream for a couple of hours, and as I mentioned to you off mic, Squishy, it will be great to have you with us for as long as you're able to stick around, but if at any point you need to dab out, just let me know. And I've got some specific questions about your history with the game as well that I'd like to go through as we go. But first, I think I think I have an idea for a game, and I'm going to try and run it past you and chat. So, yesterday, there was a little impromptu stream about Freaky Forms, which I played quite a lot of recently after I did the recent video covering it. And we made, along with chat, we made a new character in Freaky Forms who was called Giraffe, I guess? I'm trying to remember now. Who is a kind of monstrous giraffe, honestly. Very cute at the same time, though. And I think I'd like a game that incorporates the giraffe, but I don't know exactly gameplay-wise what I'd like to do yet. So I'm gonna maybe start drawing the first sprite, and then I'll use that time to hear about your history with the game. So I'm gonna go into DIY Studio.
Yay. Squishy dabbing. Oh, I'll dab just for you. You can't see it, but I did.
We could hear it. The whoosh of air.
The dab whoosh.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump into the Super MakerMatic 21. Oh, it's been such a long time. And we're going to be in the game MakerMatic. So whenabouts did you first get your hands on WarioWare D.I.Y? Did you get it on the 29th of April 2009?
No.
Were you there queuing up on launch day?
No, I was not queuing up on launch, especially not Japan, considering that's Japan's release date. Yeah, I just took a plane to Japan at the ripe age of 10, because that's how old I was. So yes, a copy of the game. No, I got it I got it in 2010, so the year it released in Europe, but not the release date.
What an incredible image! Honestly,
Tiny
Squishy.
Squishy.
Squishy, I'm very disappointed that you didn't book a solo flight to Japan as a child to buy it on release.
Oh, I know, right?
Missed opportunity by the sounds of it. But no, you were pretty soon to grab it then, at the UK release then.
Yeah, I got it in I think it was either May or June. Nah, yeah, June. Yeah, it was June 2010. I think I got it. It's funny because the reason I got DIY was because of a religious holiday. That sounds really weird. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to go into exact details because religion is always a bit iffy, but basically I did a religious thing and my relatives gave me money for it, and that's how I managed to save up and buy DIY.
Oh, nice. So there is a direct link.
Yeah, so thank my parents raising me in a religion for me having DIY.
Amazing. Yeah, so I have mentioned this before on stream, but even though I was a huge WarioWare fan, I think because this came out so late in the DS's lifespan, I'd kind of moved on to other things at the time, so I didn't get it immediately. And then when I did get it, I got it secondhand, and I spent maybe a couple of days playing around with it, thought it was really cool, and then just completely fell off it. And it wasn't until when I came back to it for the streams that I really got into it. So it didn't take long for it to become a real favorite of mine. But yeah, I was not queuing up on launch day in Japan for this, for sure.
Oh, could have seen you there.
Yeah. What an origin story if we'd both been in the queue.
In the same shop in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
None no less.
So it came out in the US the same year as the UK, is that correct?
Yes, I actually have all the anniversaries on my calendar because
Nice.
of the DIY Discord. Because I need to keep track of this stuff.
That's a good point. So Squishy also hosts a DIY. It is primarily DIY focused, right? But it does cover WarioWare things more generally as well.
Yeah, it also covers WarioWare. It does have a few channels for GBG as well, because that community the DIY community went mental when that came out, so yeah. I accommodated. Do
you find that most people that were familiar with DIY were excited about GBG. I mean, most of this channel are big GBG fans, I think it's fair to say. But I guess there is quite an overlap between the two communities, or at least the two areas of interest.
Oh, there was. Like, I remember on Twitter specifically, as soon as GBG came out, everyone just suddenly remembered the existence of WarioWare D.I.Y. Like, it was almost scary. Like, everyone at once just suddenly got this core memory of, like, this obscure WarioWare game from 2010.
Yeah. In fact, it may have been the initial trailer for GBG that prompted me to get back into it. I can't exactly remember now, but that feels right.
Yeah, like, I remember you making those micro games in DIY based on the ones shown in the trailer for GBG.
Yes, yeah. That was so fun. That was actually a real challenge for me, because the games that I'd made up until that point were very, very simple. So I'm just in the process. I'm kind of doing this first sprite a little bit sight unseen in a way, because I don't exactly know what the game's going to be yet, but I'm drawing the Thoraf's body, which is like a kind of duck shape. And I'm thinking that actually the neck and head should be their own sprite, because I think they're going to move. What I'm thinking right now is the Thoraf, for those who don't know, is like the manager of an office building, and he's pretty strict. So what I'm thinking is that the micro game could be that we have to eat our lunch very quickly by tapping and not get spotted by the Thoraf, possibly. But I don't know. I'm going to kind of go with the flow of how the AI in this game works and decide from there. So right now, I just want to make the body as its own layer. Oh, that's copy mode.
Oh, I do that all the time in the Music Maker.
End up making extra notes.
Yes. Oh, drives me mad.
So in terms of, I suppose, the Music Maker, but also just your experience with music more generally, was DIY the first time you had attempted to make music? Or I guess, actually, my first question would be, did you make music in DIY when you first picked it up? Was that the thing that drew you to it?
No, okay, it kind of was, but kind of wasn't. So, whenever I got DIY, I didn't, like, get it for the creative aspect. I got it because I played touched and smooth moves. So I was like, oh cool, another WarioWare game for the Arsenal. So I was like, oh, I'll do this and play it. And then I dabbled into the creative aspects, only to find out I was slightly terrible at all of them until I actually took the music a bit seriously.
And had you done music outside of that at that point?
Kinda. I mean, I did GCSE music,
right.
So I knew how to read sheet music, which is kind of how I make my covers. I just look at like MIDIs and open source like video game sheet music, and then that's how I translate the sheet music into WarioWare covers, kinda.
And is the process fairly one-to-one? Like, once you have that sheet music, is the translation, if you can call it that, process quite straightforward?
It really depends. It depends on the song, but it also depends on the type of sheet music I'm working with. For example, let's say I find sheet music for, I don't know, Bob on Battlefield from 64. Normally, whenever I find a piece of sheet music, it's just for piano, because that's a large chunk of sheet music. So what I need to do is I need to pick through all the notes for that. I can just do that in my head because I can read it, but what I do is I just like pick through it and I listen to the original of the song as well, and I can tell, okay, the top part of the sheet music is the main melody, the bottom part is like harmonies and the bass and stuff. Yeah. And then I kind of have to just guess the percussion, because most sheet music doesn't have percussion. Yeah, so even, I suppose, when you've got a good piece of sheet music to work from, there is still an element of, I was gonna say guesswork, but guesswork's probably not accurate. There's an element of sort of artistic license that has to come into that process, because as you say, it's not going to include everything that would be in the original composition. Exactly.
This is my very placeholder body that I'm going to leave like this right now. Because, as I say, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, so I don't want to spend too long on the actual artwork. We're going to stick with some programmer art for a while. But let's do the head, at least one position for the head. There's a number of points that you can spend here, chat, if you're not familiar with DIY, for the different art assets that are in the game. So there's like 256 points total for these elements, and each one costs points. I suppose a little bit like the node on limit. Chalupa Joe says, "It's beautiful, Dom. Straight gorgeous." Oh, thanks, Chalupa. Wait till you see what's coming next. Arch says, "I've been interested in trying to do covers for music a bit myself. Rewriting, music from ear seems difficult." Yeah, I think that must be one of those things that you probably have a particular knack for, but then you can really develop it as you get more familiar with things. Would you say that was correct, or am I off the mark there, Squishy?
Yes, you're correct. Like, if I was to like show people my older covers, I would kind of like die a little inside because they're not nearly as good as what they are now. Like, even if like, pardon me, even when you like look back on my previous covers, I was so scared to use instruments other than the like chiptune, like 8-bit type ones, because they were such a safe option.
Yes.
And it's funny you say that about wanting to learn, Arch, because I hope you don't mind me plugging something quickly.
Please.
I actually have a tutorial on it.
For music creation in DIY specifically?
Yes.
Amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah, I made it like 2 years ago, so I do feel like I need to redo it, but I do have a tutorial on my channel in like a playlist somewhere.
Man, if you're able to find that, definitely drop a link before the end of the stream. If you can't find it in time, I'll post it up somewhere after the fact. But yeah, man, I didn't realize that. That's really great. So not only are you producing wonderful covers, you're sharing the knowledge for others to do that as well.
Yeah, and even like, I made the tutorial. Okay, I technically made it 3 years ago. I wrote it out in the form of like blog posts, and then I made it in video form. I never finished the video version, but even then, that was 2 to 3 years ago, and I have more knowledge now, so I do want to redo it.
Yeah, it's amazing how things like that can be little milestones in your own journey, I think, because at the time, presumably the techniques that you were sharing were kind of not cutting edge, but like, pretty comprehensive. But then you will have naturally developed new techniques since then. So yeah, I guess a renewed version of that would be really fascinating to see.
Yeah, I also remember learning something really weird about the Music Maker while I was making the video version of the tutorial.
Oh,
yeah? Weird question. Is your emulator... is your legit DS copy of the game, your actual legit copy, is it American or European?
So, this copy that I'm playing right here is the US one. I do actually have the UK release as a physical release. But yes, the emulated version the totally legit version that we're playing here, it does happen to be the US one.
Okay, because if you go into the music, like if you were to go into the Music Maker in the US version of the game, the notes would be in the do re mi format.
Oh yeah.
But in Europe, they're actually like the proper notes, like they'd be down as C, D, E, F, etc.
Interesting. Wow.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
And it gave me like a newfound respect for like American cover makers in DIY because they had to figure out what do was or something.
Yeah. I wonder what prompted that change. I wonder whether like the Treehouse localization team just assumed that it would be more friendly to younger players, or if there is just a general generally a broader use of the do-re-mi scale in the US. That is a change that I would not have expected. But now that you point it out, I do recall seeing do-re-mi rather than the standard notes.
Yeah, the only reason I figured this out is because I think I shared like an image of me, either a stream or like an image of me like placing the notes, and I think like 2 or 3 like American people in the DIY Discord were like, "Wait, you actually have the proper note names? We're stuck with like do or mi," and I'm just like, "Oh wait, what?"
Oh man, yeah, that is a like pretty sizable change. I feel like you do see localization differences fairly often, but they're usually, you know, inconsequential. They're kind of lines of text in dialogue and stuff. That's kind of a pretty big change for sure. Do you know what the Japanese version uses? Have you ever checked it out?
I feel like I checked it in the trailers for the game. It might just be like kanji or something. I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know.
It's so funny as well to think that people are, you know, producing covers using the same game but have very different experiences with it too.
Yeah, like, it's weird to think that other people had to, like, go through the extra step of figuring out what that is, or maybe they already did know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, this is my placeholder head and neck. I think I want to start placing things within the game screen, because usually that's where I start to get a feel for how it's actually going to come together. So let's head back out now that we've got our body, our placeholder body, and our placeholder head. I can't wait to do the music, although I feel like, Squishy, you're going to have to brace myself, because compared to what you do, this is going to be a real mess, I think, a real hodgepodge creation in the Music Maker when I get to it. So let's jump into the AI for now.
Okay.
Man, it's been a long time.
Don't worry, my microgames are the exact opposite. Like, whenever I make, like, any sort of microgame, I am absolutely trash at the AI. Like, I think the most I can do that works is tap one thing and you win.
Right.
Like, I can't do anything beyond that.
Well,
and then
that's not really much different to the majority of WarioWare games, even outside of DIY. I feel like that's very often the solution that the WarioWare devs come up with as well.
Fair point. Oh, but then my art is like usually really bad because I'm not an artist at all.
Do you still have fun with the assembly, or do you kind of just avoid it?
I mean, I do like messing around with like the sounds and the effects and stuff, because that just makes it look more professional.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't do much beyond maybe making an object move.
I think the way that this game handles... Okay, it's going to have to change a little bit. The way that this game handles the assembly stuff is really unique and actually quite powerful for how simple it actually can be. You know, what I mean by that is there's actually a lot of depth there, but equally, if you just want to dip in and play around with this for 20 minutes or something, you can still produce something fun. It's a really clever little kind of programming language, if you want to call it that they've produced here. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah. Cute and versatile. So I've placed the 2 art assets into the stage, which is what they call the game screen. Right now they do nothing, but at the start of the game they will appear here. What I'm starting to think is that maybe we have a background that looks like an office with some cubicles, and down here we have a little person working in the office, sat at their desk. And I think we're gonna have them eating something, and the objective will be to maybe tap 5 times before this turns around. That's my gut feeling here. I don't know whether I'm being overly ambitious with this, but we will find out as we go along. So I think I'm going to draw another bit of art next.
Okay.
So, Squishy, people may already know this, but you recently did a Kirby month on your channel.
Oh, yes.
So, do you want to talk through that?
Yes. So, obviously, like, Kirby turned 30, like, 3 days ago, I think. Yeah, 3 days ago. And the timing just felt perfect because I wanted to do something for DIY's anniversary. But then it was also Kirby's anniversary, so I knew it would get buried. Also, I just wanted to celebrate Kirby because Forgotten Land looks amazing. So I was like, you know what, April is Kirby month, and so for that I made a bunch of DIY covers to do with Kirby and a couple to do with Mario Paint.
Yeah.
And I got the DIY Discord slightly involved, and it was like a mini party. It was great.
Nice. I really loved the one that I did not expect, and I really, really loved from the Kirby month uploads was the Right Back At You intro. It was so good, and like I would imagine a very difficult one to translate into the DIY format.
Yeah. Oh, Jazz is really annoying in the game. Like, my worst enemy.
Is it specifically because of the limitations of the Music Maker, or just because of how it, transcribing it goes? What was it primarily that makes it so tough?
I think it's mostly transcribing it, because jazz is very, like, one thing about jazz music is you can be very random. But if you're like doing a cover of a jazz song, there's like a structure to the randomness, because if you go too far one way, it sounds bad, but if you go too far the other way, it's way too structured and doesn't really sound like a jazz song anymore. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I can definitely imagine that that's a tough balancing act to strike.
That, and there's only one saxophone, which is very sad and makes it really hard to do jazz anything.
So that was actually something else I wanted to ask, because the sound font for this game, the selection of instruments, is very, very distinct. It's very distinctly WarioWare. It's got its own vibe for sure. Do you find that you're able to replicate songs that have, distinctive sounds easily because of that, or does it make it a challenge?
Again, it's another one of those things where it really depends on the song. Like, for example, sometimes I'll go out of my way to make a cover a specific song, because while I'm doing like another song, I'll hear a sound in DIY sound font that makes me think, hold on, this song would be perfect in this sound font.
Yeah.
And I think I had that with I think it was Guardian Millennial Fair from Chrono Trigger, because for those who don't know, the beginning of that song, it goes like dee 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 dee, and then it has a bunch of people chanting ha, and there was an actual sound in DIY that let me do that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually replicate that part, and that's what made me do it alone.
Interesting. So you were directly inspired by a particular instrument that you were familiar with in DIY then?
Yes.
Are you listening to songs with how likely you would be to do a cover of them in mind?
Yes, but I do it unintentionally. Like,
okay.
I could be listening to a soundtrack for fun, and like, I was listening to Kirby and the Forgotten Land soundtrack, and for example, and I would be sitting there like, this would make a good cover. I can't just enjoy music anymore. I mean, I still enjoy it, but like, I go
Your
into
brain
it
is
thinking,
still going.
Yeah, I'm still in DIY mode.
I think that's good though. I think that must kind of like I bet you have to operate in that way to be able to produce as many as you do. Like one thing that I always wonder, as somebody that makes YouTube videos but not on any kind of regular schedule, how many covers do you have planned out ahead of what you put out? Like 1 week you might put out a cover. Do you already know what the next 4, for example, will be, or is it fairly spontaneous?
So I have a system. How I do it is I'd like to like preface, I only make covers whenever I feel like it. I very rarely force myself to make covers
Mm-hmm.
because it obviously takes the fun out of it. So almost anything I've made has been because I felt like it in the moment.
Yeah.
I do take like suggestions and stuff sometimes, but usually they're just like, oh, this gave me an idea to do this song or something. But I have a system where I actually plan about 4 to 6 weeks in advance. So I have songs up to mid-June already scheduled right
Wow.
now. It's almost scary. And how I do it is obviously like I make the songs when I feel like it and then schedule them every once in a while. But let's say, I don't know, Nintendo releases a direct
Mm-hmm.
for, I don't know, let's just say Switch Sports because that's the game that's out today.
Yep.
I decide, oh, this is a good time to do the Wii Sports theme because it's iconic. I'll move one of the scheduled covers I've already got planned to a later date and then just release Switch Sports, so it's still relevant, but I'm also really planned ahead.
Right. So you can kind of slot stuff in so that you're a little bit more dynamic responding to things, but you do also have a big queue of things down the line.
Yes.
Do you have a particular cover, either a recent one or one from a while back, that you're most proud of? And if so, what is the reason that one stands out in your mind?
One of them I'm really proud of is actually my most recent cover, which is Moonstruck Blossom from Kirby Triple Deluxe. So that one, I made it in February because I planned Kirby Month just that far ahead. And I remember I was talking to like some friends, and I had this one friend who would basically just like, anytime I listened to Moonstruck Blossom, I would want to do it, but obviously I was like, nah, it's too hard, I'm not doing it. And
Yeah.
after a while, I was like, you know what? I may as well try it. And the one reason that song sticks out in my head is it's the first time I've ever layered more than 2 songs in like one
Right.
go.
So
I do sometimes layer them.
So you're giving yourself more tracks than would be possible within the tracker itself, the music maker itself.
Exactly.
Interesting. I think I saw the track that you are referring to. I wasn't familiar with the original, but yeah, the richness that you get from how many instruments would that allow you to have?
I'm trying to think. Okay, so there would be. I'm having to do the maths in my head.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I think it would be 12 instruments, and then like 3 different like percussion, but like each percussion gives you 4, so that's like 12 different like percussion instruments as well. So that's like 24 instruments.
Dang. So like essentially you're making 3 covers worth of music there in one go, or at least like notation, right?
Yeah.
That's intense. What I'm gonna do, sorry to derail the chat for a second, but I'm gonna go into the dojo, I think, because what I'm feeling now is that maybe we have to click multiple times to win within the time limit, and I'm pretty sure there's a dojo tutorial that specifically covers how to do that. So I'm gonna refresh myself. Instead of fumbling around with it, I'm just gonna go in and take a look at the dojo. I forget where it is. Is it in here? Yes, okay. So for those that don't know, the Assembly Dojo is like the lessons structure, kind of like the interactive lessons in GBG. And some of them get really, really tough. It was a really fun challenge to go through each of these. And if I'm remembering correctly, there's like you need to press something 3 times to win. I saw chat asking about Wii, or not Wii, Switch Sports. I might get it eventually. I'm not kind of rushing to get it, but I'm really interested to see people playing it. I saw that Chalupa was either going to pick it up or was planning on getting it. Yeah, I'm excited to see. Are you any plans to get, or do you have any plans for getting Switch Sports?
I do think it looks interesting, but I think it's one of those games where I think I'm gonna wait for it to be on sale, or like I'll get it second hand.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I feel like I'm a little bit I've got too many games that I want to check out to add another one to the list for sure.
Nah, my backlog is scary, to be honest. I can't be buying more games.
Okay, so I think it's this one. Technique 24, on then off. Require the light to be turned on and then off again to win. The win condition for this game is not for the light to turn off, it's for the light to turn on and then off again. Got it. Right, so I think if we hop into this, yeah, I'm really gonna have to refresh myself here. So these Assembly Dojo games have, like, let's say 80% of the logic already programmed in, and it's up to you to find the right conditions to match the requirements. So let's see if I can figure this out. So we've got a list of AI processes here. The first one is that when the game starts, the art will be set to off. There are two different frames of animation in this art here. When the switch is tapped, change art to on. Turn switch on. That's a little bit confusing. Switch there refers to the asset, the actor, I think they call them, and then switch refers to the kind of little the little status that is tracked by the game. So I can show you what that means exactly in a moment. And then we've got a sound effect that will play. And then when switch is tapped for a second time and the switch is already on, then turn the switch off and change the art to off. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward. So let's turn on the switch viewing here so we can see what state the different actors are in. I'm going to press play. So the switch starts off when I turn it on, and then off. We will have a win condition there, but we need to program that in, I think. Hey Renz, good to see you. Also,
Hello.
apologies chat, I will have a little bit more time to read through all of your messages once we get into the swing of this. I know I haven't been checking it as much as usual. Okay, so watch for when the switch is off. Okay, so I think this won't do it because I think we'll win immediately. Yeah, so we won straight away before we even pressed anything. So,
Ooh, Chalupa asks, what is Dom and my favorite games, not including GBG or DIY?
Adding a little
Good
extra
question.
caveat there to to prevent us from giving me easy answers.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
So-
Do you have one in mind already?
Well, first of all, DIY isn't actually my favorite game. It's my favorite WarioWare game, but it's not actually, like, in my top 3. It's in my top 5.
Oh, wow,
but it's-
okay.
Yeah, it's weird. I use it more as a tool than a game.
Yeah,
But for my favorite games, I would definitely say either Earthbound or Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I like RPGs.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, good choices. They're both that kind of pretty sprawling kind of story-based RPG as well, or you know, like a story-heavy RPG.
Yeah, plus they're a bit more simplistic.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like RPGs with like a load of mechanics, it can be overwhelming sometimes. So I do like
Absolutely.
the simpler ones where everything is straightforward.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Earthbound as well. The fact that obviously it's got so much charm and so much character, but the actual RPG elements themselves are relatively simplistic. Because I'm exactly the same. I'm not very good at once the RPG stuff gets pretty complex, the mechanical stuff gets complex.
Yeah. Special shout out to Drawn to Life though. I loved that game as a child and I need to go back to it again.
It has been an extremely long time. The DS one was the original, is that right?
Yes. There was like 2 on the DS, technically 3 if you count the SpongeBob one, but honestly, I don't count it.
Oh man, I'm struggling here a little bit. I'm trying to think what my favorite great non-GBG game is.
WarioWare D.I.Y. No, I'm kidding.
That would have been the real get out of jail free answer. Honestly, lately I might be tempted to say something like Polygon Studio. I was so impressed by Mario Artist Polygon Studio. I was so impressed by the game portion of that. It was way more engaging and way more in depth than I was anticipating. There's a sort of like free roam element where you use your creation to navigate through a world, and yeah, I was so blown away by that, and it was something that I'm so glad that the sort of like hacking community made accessible, because it was a Japan only release, and there was somebody who went through and translated it almost entirely into English and made it playable, and also that person was involved with like getting the emulation of that game running well. So emulation for things that were not playable or not easily playable for folks is always a really wonderful thing to see. Okay, I am.
I love when legit games are made more legit.
Yes, yeah. I am blanking on that logic, honestly. I think I can get it to tell me an answer here. Oh, maybe not. How do I, oh, it's on the notes, isn't it? Okay. So, for folks that are just joining us, I am trying to work out how we can make a win condition that requires multiple clicks. So I'm looking at this Assembly Dojo lesson. And the notes here say, we stuck you with a tricky little combination of switches in this challenge. Did you solve it the right way? I did at one point. Past Dom was clearly far more equipped for this than me right now. Win conditions are usually used to monitor whether switches are on, but they are just as effective as monitoring if switches are off. So yeah, I tried turning it to the win condition being off, but clearly that made the game end immediately because the switch starts off. So let's see whether... oh, this is all it's going to tell us here. Really could have done with a third page on that one. Okay, well, maybe we go for something a little bit more simple then. Bobalink says, might I recommend playing Little Big Planet? Squishy, did you ever play Little Big Planet back in the day, or any of the sequels?
I haven't. I never owned any consoles that weren't Nintendo, to be honest.
Oh, have you always been Nintendo consoles?
Yeah, the closest I've ever maybe been to having something that wasn't Nintendo was maybe like an older sibling or something, just having like an Xbox that we weren't allowed to touch. Yeah. And that's really it.
You saw an Xbox, but we're not permitted to play.
The forbidden Xbox.
Outside of, obviously, a DS, I presume, did you have other Nintendo consoles?
I had a Wii, 3DS, Wii U, oh, and of course a Switch.
Yeah, nice. So you've had pretty much all of them since the DS.
Yeah, I even had a DSi at one point.
Oh man, did you ever play any of the DSi specific games?
I played the stuff that was like already on the system. Plus,
okay,
I did mess around with Flipnote.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. Oh, Flipnote Hatena, I can never pronounce it. Flipnote Hatena was like the YouTube of my childhood.
Yeah. What a good comparison. What a beautiful little, I was gonna say game, but I suppose like a little bit of software.
Yeah.
There was a WarioWare game for the DSi.
Snapped, yeah.
Yeah, I've never played Snapped. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different to the usual WarioWare, but I would be still interested to try. I've heard it's not fantastic, but still, it's a WarioWare game I've never played, which I think it's probably the only one I've never played.
Yeah, a lot of people say don't play it, which basically translates to if you make content, it would make funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So for those that don't know, is it called Snapped? Is that right?
Yes.
WarioWare Snapped was a DSi exclusive title that used the front-facing camera on the DSi to put you in the micro games. I suppose a little bit like things like is it Face Raiders, the 3DS kind of?
Yes.
Yeah. Similar premise, right? You take a photo and then it incorporates you into the game.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you were to stream Snapped, you'd have to do like a really blurry DS face reveal.
Yeah. I guess that would be the thing that would prevent me. But yeah, I suppose the fidelity on that DSi camera was so low that I suppose you could technically get away with it.
Or just take a picture of a dog or something.
Some Toy Channel says, have you heard that Bug Snacks is coming to the Switch once the PS5 exclusive deal becomes a multi-console deal? I didn't know that. I had kind of been following Bug Snacks when it was in development, and that Caro Caro Bonito theme song for Bug Snacks is incredible. I don't know anything about the game. I kind of get the feeling that it's probably my kind of game, but I've honestly not encountered any of the story stuff, or even really the gameplay stuff, outside the fact that I guess you're collecting the Bug Snacks. But yeah, I'd definitely like to check it out at some point. So right now I'm thinking I'm going to build the sort of office environment as a background. This is a very wonky scene here. Something that I keep forgetting that we can do, we've got dithering! We've got incredible dithering tools here. I just was working on the assumptions that we had the same sort of palette as in GBG, but I love these sort of Mario Paint-esque fill textures and stuff. The dithering is possibly my favorite. I'm such a sucker for dithering. But I want this office to look as gross as possible.
Mud on the walls and everything.
Yeah. Let me see. Maybe this for the... Oh yeah, that's perfect. And then like a dark blue carpet. Fantastic.
I just love that the zoom in and zoom out buttons are eyes.
Yeah! It's kind of creepy when you consider that this is like the pupil on the minus eye here. It's got like a goat pupil.
And every time you poke, you're like zooming in, you're just poking this poor soul's eye out.
Oh man. Alright, I think I'm gonna put a water cooler back here. Squishy, do you play any instruments in real life? I suppose it's a kind of a weird distinction between like working in a digital music creation suite, but I mean,
yeah.
Is there like a physical instrument that you play?
So part of GCSE music when I studied it like 8 years ago was you had to do like a practical exam on an instrument. Mm-hmm. And here's a weird fact. I actually picked GCSE music as a joke. I didn't actually like anticipate going into it. I was picking like my subjects, and I was don't do this by the way. Don't pick a GCSE as a joke. So I was picking my subjects for serious, and I needed like a third one, and I was like, oh, I'll just like throw in music for the banter. And then I realized that I needed to learn an instrument, and so I didn't have to carry anything around. I was like, all right, I'll sign up for singing lessons, and I found out I could sing opera. I can't do it anymore. But...
So that was your instrument for the GCSE music then. It was vocals.
Yes. So I had to sing because it was opera. I had to sing the music of dead people. At the age of 15.
Oh my goodness. I mean, very operatic, I think. That connection there, the idea that it's the songs of dead people.
Yeah, that's very dark. But yeah, I did that. I don't do it anymore. But it did help with learning sheet music as well. I took guitar lessons for a month, and now I don't know how anymore. do collect weird instruments. That's another weird hobby. I have like a collection on a shelf of like really wacky instruments that I just barely know how to play.
You have a melodica, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I used to have a melodica. They're such fun instruments to play.
I have it right next to me. I will save you all the... I will not play it. Well, I don't know. I'm tempted, but maybe I'll save you all the trouble.
Oh, I don't know what chat will have to say about being tempted with a live performance.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it now. I have an automaton as well.
Oh man! Oh, they're so cool. Just in case there's anyone in chat that doesn't know what an automaton is, how would you describe it?
I'm trying to think of like a kid-friendly way to explain it because the not safe for work version popped into my head instantly. So it's the shape of a music note, and it has like a cute little face. And what you do is you squeeze the face with one hand, and then the other hand you like play notes on like the stem. Like I love how I went to grab it to show everyone, like anyone could see me, but hold on, maybe if I put a picture in the Discord.
Yeah, that'll certainly be helpful for the folks in there. I guess the way I would try and describe it is like you have a neck like a neck of a guitar, and you have what would normally be the body of the guitar is a squishy head.
Yeah.
It's got a little face, and the sound is very much... I always think that they sound quite Vocaloid-ish, even though there's not, like, pronunciation. It's just a single sound, but because you're modulating the note both by sliding the pitch up and down, but also with the, like, squishing of the face, it does have a kind of vocal quality to it.
Yeah. It's really weird, but like, I love my automaton. Okay, I put it in off topic in the Discord.
Nice.
Oh.
Mr. Rose says...
I own it.
Oh, sorry, Squishy.
Oh no, go on.
Mr. Rose says, Dom, we have an automaton as a subscriber. What do you mean? That's true. We do have Obamaton in chat fairly often. And also, I think Chalupa Joe's, for those who saw it, I think Chalupa Joe's little music note character from their recent game is very automaton shaped as well. Someone says automatons are played like saxophones without the blowing. A very good description, very succinct and very accurate. Yeah,
I have seen like there are content creators of those like who do play automaton, similar the same way I do it with DIY. They describe it like playing a stringed instrument. Like it's really, if you know how to play violin, you can pick up an automaton quite quickly, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Which is really random, but neat.
Wait, what character did I just use there? That's not a 1, is it? What? Oh wait, weird. I've never noticed that there's like ones that are underlined and then ones that are not.
Oh yeah.
Unless there's like double-digit characters that use one space. That's really interesting. I guess because they know you're going to be labeling stuff in the art name section, because you've got like the multiple layers for each art asset.
Yeah, I remember like figuring that out whenever I had to. So I used to like whenever I would number songs, I would use the numbers with the dashes, and then I realized that Dojasoft, which is a website for like preserving DIY content, they actually don't read the dashed numbers as numbers. They just show question marks. So I had to like switch to using the actual numbers.
No. Did it mess up like a lot of your naming?
Not much, luckily.
Okay.
It was just something I noticed. Like you could tell what the song was without the numbering, luckily. But nah, it was just something minor I noticed, and it bugged me a little.
That actually brings up a good point, which is obviously the DS online features and sharing features are long gone. So how do DIY players share, and I guess more broadly, how are the games archived that people create, either now or back in the day?
So there's a website which is like the Dojasoft. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. It's the Dojasoft store, and it's, I can't remember how many people it's run by, but I do know 2 of them at least. They have the website up to preserve past and present games that were like in the kind of like WarioWare D.I.Y archives from before it got shut down. They even have the special micro games that like other creators made. So like the one Sakurai made, or
Yeah.
the one the creator Shantae made, for example.
I think they were referred to as big name games here, at least
Big
in this
name games.
region. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And they have like various sections on there as well. I will warn people though, they take everything, including the weird games.
Sure. Yeah.
So, be careful going on that site. But
that's an important disclaimer, I think. Yeah, there's as you say, there's not really moderation that you would have on if it was an official Nintendo thing, let's say.
Yeah, like their aim is to preserve everything, and I'm really happy that they do that. But of course, like, being lenient has consequences.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad that they were able to. I don't know how many people were involved in the project to archive those old creations, but it is always. I find it's extremely sad when user-generated stuff is shut down and the creations are lost. So I'm so pleased that they're all still accessible. Especially those special games, because there was like contest winners that had their games distributed as well, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's so great that those things are still accessible.
It's so nice. I can't remember. I think they actually have like counters on like how many of each they have. So like they list how many micro games they have, how many music tracks they have, etc. And it's really interesting to see it grow every now and then when I go back on.
Oh yeah. Because I guess there are people regularly making stuff and uploading it to that site.
Yeah, myself included.
Does every single one of your covers get put up there?
Recently, so all my recent ones from maybe as far back as 2019, 2020 do, minus like a few that maybe fall through the cracks and I've accidentally deleted. But I am trying to make it my mission to maybe remake the ones that aren't on there, just so I can have them preserved.
Is that desire stemming from the fact that you've kind of only got a limited number of slots to make music, or is it just more that there is accessible versions of that, like things that other users could download and learn from?
It's a bit of both. I do like to obviously empty out my copies of the game every few months. I actually call them Dojasoft days, because I take like because I wait until a copy of the game is full, then I spend about an hour deleting all the previous ones in Showcase because they've already been shared. And then I have to sit there and like put them in one at a time because they don't have a system where you can do it in bulk. So I put a day aside to do that.
Wow.
And then they go on Dojasoft, and it's nice to have them accessible.
Yeah.
To those who are curious.
Yeah, because I think it's a little bit different to like a tutorial or something, but I think there is still a lot of potential for people who are curious, as you say, to like look at one of your creations and figure out by sort of reverse engineering it how you do your thing.
Yeah, and as scary as it sounds, some social media will be around forever. Meaning if one social media goes, then the other will still have my content.
Yeah, absolutely. We're kind of inching closer. The GBG community is inching closer to the first round of delistings. On GBG, games that have never been downloaded in like 365 days since it was uploaded, will be removed from the servers by Nintendo. And because we're coming up to the 1-year anniversary of GBG, the first set of titles are potentially going to start getting taken down now. And we don't yet have any way to kind of archive those creations. But there's been some really interesting research into the ways that like the codes that are generated by Nintendo when you upload a creation are generated, which might be a first step into figuring out a way to archive or at least document or index these games before they go. But who knows? I really hope that we will be able to save those games, because like we didn't get big name games for GBG like we did for DIY, but Sakurai did make a GBG game right when it came out. It's very basic, but it's really interesting that much like with the big name games on DIY, Sakurai came back to make a little GBG project as well.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah. Okay, so... Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna joke he was released from the Smash Bros. Prison to make a GBG game.
Alright, so I made my little desk here. Which is very little. But that's fine. Maybe maybe people only get little desks in this office. So... I'm gonna have to actually think about the logic in a moment.
It's like a real office. The computers haven't been updated for 10 years.
Yeah. Got like a Macintosh SE here. Yeah. So I think there'll be like 2 sprites for Thoraf. I think there'll be like the happy one and the angry one. I might take some suggestions for chat in terms of like what the actual interaction will be. My current thinking is, still, I'd like to like, you know, maybe you've got to frantically click this little dude so he does his work. Mr. Rose says you can't adjust the size. Nope. So that's one, not limitation, but one kind of quirk of DIY, which is that once you've set the canvas size, there's no way to scale things up. They are just the size that they are. You may be able to actually change the size of the canvas, but then the actual element inside won't scale. Okay, so... Right now, all we would have to do is monitor this switch. Watch when switch is on. So right here we have a workable game, technically, because we can click our dude here and we win, but that's obviously not very fun. So having an extra... okay, what if we maybe have to distract Thoraf first, and then we click... Okay, let me do a second sprite, which is like a distracted Thoraf. Mr. Rose says, my suggestion for the minigame is not pressing as the guy, but as Thoraf waking people up or making them start working. What a nice suggestion! So, maybe our little guy is dozing off in the cubicle, and we click Thoraf to make Thoraf yell at the dude. Very harsh working conditions in this office, but yeah, I like it, Mr. What a good suggestion. I have a question specifically about like whether you've got any... Would white whales be the correct term when it comes to covers? Is there anything that you've either like always wanted to do a cover for but haven't for either technical reasons or just never got around to it? Or is there something that you're like, you feel you should cover but are scared to tackle?
Oh god, good question. So one thing I've always wanted to do was it's I don't know why, but like I've wanted to do I have like a bleh. I have like a thing where I sometimes make like themed covers, like they all kind of connect, and then I do like a medley at the end once I've done them all. Like I've done it with the Legion of Stationery, I've done it with all the Rainbow Roads, and Kirby Month kind of got one as well. Well, they will get one like on Sunday or something, I don't know. One thing I want to do was the Champions themes from Breath of the Wild.
Right. Okay.
But I couldn't do them because when it comes to like more somber songs, it's really difficult to get the vibe right in them just because of like how harsh some of the instruments can be in the game. That and Rivali's theme is in 3/4 when the game allows only 4/4, and time signatures are one of my worst nightmares unless I'm in the mood for it. So
yeah, so that is a kind of probably the biggest limitation of the music editor. I think that's fair to say, right? The fact that you are only allowed to work in 4/4. There is like that swing time function, right? I don't actually really know how that works within the music editor. Is that something you ever use?
I do use it, and that's actually how I did the jazz kind of sound in Kirby Right Back at Ya's theme.
Okay.
So how it works is as long as the notes are like directly next to each other, they will do that swing format. So let's say I wanted to do a cover of Jump Up Superstar. If I had all the notes next to each other and then didn't use the swing button, it would just sound really weird. But the swing button gives it a da-da-da-da-da kind of type thing.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So like, that's how that works. But it doesn't change the time signature in any way.
It's a really, I mean, I guess it's one of those where it's like great that they included it, but it's a strange, not quite a change in the time signature, but also kind of gives a little bit of that, like a skip sound. It's a weird one. I'd never really considered how many songs will potentially be in time signatures that are just not supported within DIY. What do you do in those occasions? Do you try and fit them into 4/4, or do you have a method?
I do fit them in I do just fit them in 4/4, but it requires a lot of mavs on my end. So
wow.
Let's say I'm doing a song in 3/4. I know that every first track will be similar in how it's structured, then every second track will be similar, and then every third track will be similar, and then it kind of loops back around the first one being lined up.
Okay. When it loops, is that? Like it will line back up once it loops around, or did I misunderstand?
It's hard to explain, so I don't know. So like, if I was to do... how do I explain this? Like, so let's say, like, obviously the Music Maker has like 4 little sections in each track.
Yep.
And let's say a 4/4 song would require 4 of those sections, because 4/4 is like 4 crotchet beats in a second, or 4 quarter notes. But because 3/4 is 3 quarter notes or 3 crotchets, I have to count them. But because there's 8 in one track, it would be like I would have 2 full like 3/4 beats, and then like 2/3 of another one in the first one.
Man, okay, yeah, I can see that would be very time-consuming, or at least like there's an element of really having to figure out the maths there.
Yeah, at the very least, I'm somewhat used to 3/4 now. It helps with, like, if I just place percussion where I need them, and then those are my like markers.
Right.
But I remember one time I decided to like do something stupid, and I did Marx's theme from Kirby Superstar.
Is that I'm not familiar necessarily with that. Is it a weird time signature?
I think I just need to. I'm gonna get sheet music of it and read out the time signatures because there's more than like one.
Oh, it's like shifting.
It shifts constantly. So, let me see.
Just while you're finding that, I've seen that there's a few questions in chat. Abe was asking who is joining me today. This is Squishy Pixels. Squishy Pixels does some incredible WarioWare D.I.Y covers alongside Mario Paint covers. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, really wanted to do something with Squishy for a while. And as today is the 13th birthday of WarioWare, at least in Japan, it felt like a perfect opportunity. Does this look like an angry kind of giraffe thing?
Yeah, it looks angry. It looks like it's kind of yelling.
Great, okay. Mission accomplished.
I found it, by the way. So, keep in mind, Marx's theme only looped for 1 minute.
Okay.
Right? Like, roughly a minute. It starts in 6-8, then it's in 7-8, then it's in 6-8 again, then it's in 9-8, 6-8, 5-8, 6-8 again.
This is all within a minute.
Yes. Then all that I just said repeats. Then it goes back to 6-8 again, followed by 5-8 again, 6-8 again. There's a chance I probably skipped one in all this, but yeah, you get the point. 5-8, 6-8. There's probably a 3-4 there somewhere. Yeah, that's basically it.
Wow. And then how did that manifest within DIY then? How did you handle those funky time signatures?
A lot of replaying the song and just screwing everything. I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to try and do the maths anymore. I just went based entirely on the sound because my brain would have melted.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Hang on a sec. I need to get rid of this cell. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so that's going to be my angry one. I saw Chalupa asking why the raft has fireworks on their antlers. I'm imagining that those fluorescent antlers glow when Thoraf's angry, so that's what's happening there. So we have 2 frames. I'm just going to scroll back up because Mr. O expanded a little bit on their suggestion for the gameplay, saying you should click the guy who is slacking so you can put more guys to make it more difficult. Okay, very cool. Alright, we'll definitely do that. So let's get our placeholder Sleepy Sprite. Oh man, the music is so good in this game.
Oh, it's great. I also love that the soundtrack for the game uses the instruments in the Music Maker.
Yeah, is it possible to like completely accurately recreate the music? Because I feel like the stuff in the micro games all sounds like it's made in the Music Maker, but this kind of stuff here, could it be done one-to-one? Or is it just the sound font that's shared?
I think it's just the sound font. It could be like slightly possible, but I think the sound font just does slightly fancier stuff that the Music Maker isn't capable of.
Right. Yeah. So they're cheating a little, but yeah, it is so perfect that the instrumentation is shared.
Yeah, Nintendo's hiding all the good tools from me. I don't approve.
That actually raises an interesting kind of imaginary scenario. If there was another DIY game down the line, maybe a Switch one, for example, what would you like to see added? I suppose specifically to the Music Maker, but just generally as well.
Ooh, good question. First of all, time signatures, please. I do wish they had more octaves, so like higher and lower notes than what we currently have, because more times than one, sometimes I'll make a song and it'll be one note too high or one note too low.
Right.
And so I'd have to change something completely. So I would like there to be at least one more set of notes at the very least.
Is that that's like the scale that you're able to work within?
Yeah, the scale, that's it. Thank you.
That's okay. I wasn't sure, yeah, because I think it is pretty tight. In fact, let's jump into the Music Maker for a little bit. Yeah, so like this range here.
Yes, I wish it was either higher or lower, because you only get 3 G notes, like the bottom, the middle, and the top. If that was expanded by maybe one scale,
right,
even 2 is better, but by one scale, it would be nice.
Yeah. It is pretty astounding how decent a tracker they managed to squeeze into the DS in this music tool here. But yeah, I could definitely see like the fact that there's no way to sort of scroll this to have a little bit more, like you say, just a few more at the top or at the bottom would be incredible, I'm sure.
Yeah, like it would be really nice. I know Mario Paint, the Mario Paint composer, the guys over at Mario Paint Hangouts, which is like the main Discord and forums for Mario Paint, they managed to make a expanded, very legit version of the composer, where it allows for more notes, and they dropped the like 4 note limit.
Wow, is that like an online tool or like
it's
a
a free
modded ROM or
download?
something? Okay, nice. I guess is that where most people do that? I've seen some incredible covers for Mario Paint stuff. Is that mostly where people are working nowadays?
Yeah, that's where a lot of the big Mario painters. That's where a lot of the like active Mario painters are using now.
Yeah. I can imagine that's pretty groundbreaking to have those limitations lifted.
Yeah, it's nice.
In case there is anyone watching that's never seen the music creation side of things here, we get 4 tracks, so essentially we get 4 instruments that we can work with, plus a rhythm section on the final track here. Oh, let me switch screens so you get the top screen big for a second. Yeah, 4 tracks and a rhythm section. There's a whole bunch of instruments that you can use. So there's kind of what would you call this? Sort of real world lead instruments here, string and percussion instruments. But then we get kind of funky ones like chiptune instruments, and there's like an arpeggi sound in here somewhere. Maybe this one?
I think it's the little like alien ball thing, like the first top left.
There we go. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Animal sounds, of course, including some very familiar from Mario Paint.
The iconic cat.
Yeah. My absolute fave, the ridiculous baby noise.
Oh, the baby. I haven't figured out how to use that one yet in D.I.Y.
Oh man,
I want to.
It is a very special sound that I can imagine is very difficult to work into an actual piece. Yeah. Mr. Rose says,
I've used it in Mario Paint.
Oh yeah? What, can you remember what you used it?
Like, I think I used it in Temmie Village.
Oh yes, a perfect fit.
From Undertale.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you there.
That's okay. No, I was just going to read out. Mr. O in chat says, real world instruments. Monkey.
Oh, I play the monkey. What do you guys play?
I'm surprised you didn't pick that for GCSE music.
Oh, yeah, I just bring an entire... I just, like, carry Diddy Kong in to, like, my music exam. Just...
The question would be,
Uh,
would Diddy Kong be able to help you on the exam, or would that technically be cheating?
oh, that's a good point. Because I know there were like group GCSE music exams. There was like a solo and then like a group one. But those involved in the group that weren't taking the exam couldn't help you. They just had to like play alongside you.
Right, right.
I don't know what the rules would be like if the other person was the instrument though.
Yeah. I mean, serious loophole if they haven't, if the exam board hasn't taken into consideration, Diddy Kong as an instrument and a co-examinee. I'm gonna break the rules here. I'm gonna go to our little composer friend to at least get me started, and then maybe modify from there. I didn't prepare like a particular track that I wanted to create or anything, but I'm also aware of the fact that I'm not anywhere near as sort of musically minded here as you are, Squishy. So I hope you don't mind that I'm going to go to the maestro and ask for some little hints here.
No, it's okay.
So we've got two functions. Is this the one where we can change like the elements of the phrase that the composer makes? It is.
I think the request is the one that lets you choose the mood. I can't remember.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think this is it. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So we've got 3 speeds of music, or kind of general vibes, I guess. Let's go normal to begin with. And then we've got tones of the music, or I suppose this is more accurately moods, isn't it? I love the spicy one. I think typically I'm drawn to the spicy one. But let's maybe go. Let's try sad, because it's kind of a sad scene that we're creating here.
Yeah, you're waking up a dude from his sleep.
All right, Maestro. Shh, the Maestro is composing. Honestly, I think Maestro has given us something pretty fun to work with here right off the bat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for this and modify from there. So even when we use Maestro, all of the different note placements are customizable, and the instruments, and we can of course expand on the number of tracks as well. Let's have a listen just to this one track in isolation. Okay. I like the melody there. I don't love the instrument. I want to get a little bit funkier here. Do you have a favorite instrument, Squishy? Do you have one that you go to, that you just find yourself naturally drawn to?
I do get drawn to the violin a lot. Like the violin instrument. It's really good for both chords and like main melody, so it's great.
This one here?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Delay slightly there.
And it fits beautifully with the sad motif that we've got going on.
Yeah.
Arch in chat says DIY is the best DAW. I agree. I genuinely think the UI in this is really special. I mean, it's not the most self-explanatory. You kind of have to feel your way through this the first time you play it. Like, for example, you might not consider that this actually kind of automaton looking dude here is how you select between the different tracks. Like having him open his mouth and then find a smaller version of him inside that you drag up and down is, it is certainly pretty esoteric, I guess, as a design choice.
Cute.
But yeah, it's perfect. And the way that the arm, because I've got it split across 2 screens, it's maybe not as apparent here, but like the arm drags down as you switch between tracks. It's so cool. Mr. O asks, I wonder how is the AI for the music creation? As in the Maestro stuff? Yeah, I would love to know. I wonder whether it kind of has a bunch of random elements that it can shuffle between, as in like the instrument that it's going to give you, the little motifs that it puts in each of the 2 pages here. Like, is the second half different from the first half in terms of how it's handled by the Maestro? Who knows? I don't know whether anyone's ever kind of reverse engineered that, Squishy? I suppose you would know if they have.
I don't think anyone has. I never see anyone mention the Maestro,
Mm.
really, which is sad. He's underrated.
Maestro rocks, especially if yeah, if like me, you come to this and like when I'm not streaming, I do spend quite a bit of time trying to by ear pick, match things if I'm doing a little very simple cover of something. But when I'm on stream, I feel like music is the thing that can definitely drive people nuts if they hear it over and over again. So I try to kind of move through this relatively fast. But actually, you stream on Twitch as well, and I've had the pleasure of being able to watch you create songs live, and it's a really amazing experience because not only does it kind of come together relatively quick, but also to see your process, which I think is, because of the unique qualities of this as a music making tool, it's quite a unique process to create the track as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the violin was a good choice for the lead here. What is our second track actually doing? Okay, so that's like our bass line. I'm gonna pick an instrument for this one. And I have the immediate urge to go to one of the silly instruments. What is this?
The baby face.
What is this, dude? Okay, I think we needed something a little deeper. What a classic WarioWare sound. I think maybe we should try the 5 o'clock shadow, dude. Oh, that's kind of okay, actually.
Yeah.
Let's check out the instrumentation for the rhythm here. So we've got kind of just a simple back and forth here in terms of the rhythm, but let's see. Maybe we can go like chiptune, sort of. And we can multi-select notes, right? Oh, hang on, wait. How do you... Is there no way to isolate certain notes and drag them? Do you have to take everything from that bar?
Oh, sorry, pardon?
That's okay. I thought there was a way kind of like in the texture or the art maker where you could sort of like select just a certain batch of notes, but maybe I'm misremembering.
You can't get like... You can't do it... Bleh. You can't do it like... I
It's a
mix up my
selection.
horizontal and verticals. But you can only select from like one line going down the ways.
Right.
From sideways.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you just click... Yeah.
So we'd have to drag these individually, right, to change them to a different... Oops, I'm still on the...
Yeah. Also, I do the same thing. I forget
Oh
I'm in
my
the
goodness.
copying tool.
Yeah.
Just try to move stuff.
There we go. All right, so let's drag this up.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have a listen all together. So I'm only changing one page here, and I do like the fact that the two halves are slightly different. But maybe... that's a bit... Oh, I don't know, I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah. Maybe if you put the guns with the red fist.
Like together? Like this?
Yeah.
Have a listen.
I don't know, just a suggestion.
Yeah, no, Ooh, yeah, it just kind of adds a little bit of depth to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of into that.
It's funky.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do for maybe track 3, I can copy elements from another track to a new track. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do we do it like this? Yeah, there we go. So
Yeah.
maybe just match these, but with a different instrument.
Yeah.
Just to again kind of add some depth to the sound. So it's on piano at the moment. Let's have a listen to what piano sounds like. Nice, but I think
that's nice.
Yeah, I think. Man, now I'm feeling like we put piano on track 3, but then we have one last one that replicates it and has just got a little kind of I don't know. I feel like a spacey vibe. One of these more twinkly ones as well. So,
ooh, yes.
we'll grab all this. Oh no! Wait. First, we should grab page 2 from track 1. And down to track 3. Nice. And click OK first.
Yay.
And then last one on track 4, which we will be both halves of. Yeah, so again, not the most complex thing, probably not showing off the Music Maker to its fullest extent, sadly, but I think it's a fairly funky sound. And I think it's going to get even funkier with this last instrument. Oh, so viewers of the stream know that I do love telephone sounds in a song. Let's see whether these add the right flavor to this track 4 here. Okay, so I think it's too much now. I think track 1, 2, and 3 is nice. We're hearing too much here, so maybe we can select out like key notes that is played on telephone.
Can I offer a suggestion? I don't want to like.
Please, no. I thought it would be kind of difficult to do on the fly, so I was hesitant to ask you. But yes, absolutely, it would be my pleasure and my honor to have a squishy suggestion for this track.
Okay, what if we keep the phone in track 4, but maybe delete everything in track 4? Copy track 2 down to track 4 and then delete every other note.
Oh, okay. That sounds perfect. So we're going to have track 4 is going to be the instrument, or the telephone instrument, but it's going to be alternating on the bass line. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
So track 2, selecting here, taking down to 4. Okay. Page 2. Oh, sorry, I dragged it. Not in copy mode. That is the thing that I mess up every time without fail.
No, I've been doing this for 7 years. I still do that. It doesn't change.
I'm in good company with that then. Okay, so what do you reckon? Are we deleting the first or the second?
I would say the second.
Okay. Yep. All right. That was a good suggestion. I can feel this is going to be right already. Let's have a listen with all tracks. All right, come on, telephone, do us proud.
Come on.
I like it. I think the one thing it needs is like a burp burp at the end. Hang on, I'll try and illustrate what I mean. Burp burp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On this track, maybe... hang on, let me just listen to this in isolation. I think it might be a... I think we might need to go minor here. Oh, hang on, too fast. Should it be on the second? There we go.
Yeah.
I think it's a little... I think the note is wrong. But that's it in principle. So where do we go? We go from... Okay, so I think we should end there, right? Let's see.
Maybe try the does for the last two beeps.
These ones
I
here?
don't know. Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a go.
I,
Yes! Yeah, perfect!
yeah.
There we go. That's how you make a track in DIY. What a bop. Alright.
Oh, it's great.
Now we're just gonna make a good game to accompany it. Click save. How are you doing for time, by the way, Squishy? Let me know if you need to take a break or anything. I'm probably gonna keep going. I'm enthused by the creation, but if you wanna grab a drink or anything like that, feel free to step out. Or if you need to dab out at any point, you can also just let me know.
Yeah, I think I'll be... Yeah, I'll grab a drink or something really quickly. I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes.
Take your time, yeah. Catch you in a little bit.
Okay.
Alright, so Mr. O made a great suggestion that we gotta wake up the workers. So we're gonna click the workers. I feel like maybe instead of the one... So we've got one down here that sits at a desk, but maybe the one back here is like peeking over the cubicle and we kind of bop them back down. Yeah, let's maybe try drawing that one next. Also, oh, actually, sorry, I missed it earlier. You said, my favorite instrument is phone. I agree. So let's go worker 2 here. Chalupa says, when the Thoraf song is the same BPM as the Switch Sports friend room music and it slaps together. Woof! Beautiful. Oh, Bari says, Dom, I sent you some DIY logic for the clicking by Discord if you want to check that later. This is probably a perfect opportunity to check it out. Thank you, Bari, for the heads up. So, Bari says, hi Dom, for an easy 1 to 4 clicks solution. It's to make a transparent button or use any other object that you're not animating or using it. The AI will change the art to the next one, and then the last one will switch on as a win condition. Right, okay. Gotcha. So I'll maybe do a little test button that's visible to begin with, that has 3 frames of animation, and get the logic working. Thank you very much, Bori. That will be super, super useful. I'm going to take a picture of your little assembly example. So I've got that for reference. But first, let's... in fact, let's do that. Let's do that now. Let's back out of here. And make our button... So... we're just going to have a little debug button. Doesn't need to look pretty. With 3 states, right? Pretty sure. Hang on. Let's rename this. Hang on. Yeah, I guess if we call this click 1. We'll call this one click 2. And we'll make this a purple button. And we'll have click 3. So this should give us something that allows us to click 3 times, because it's going to be able to switch through each of the different actors within, or states within this actor, I suppose. Once we do the AI for this. Thanks again, Bori, for this. Ooh, hang on, I need to call it click 3. So let's go back into assembly. We're going to place this object into the scene. It's going to start on click 1. It's going to be in the same location for now. Ah yes, the easy to do buttons you can draw in GBG. It is really fascinating to see the things that, because obviously the DIY creation is very limited in certain ways. Like the games are all designed to be just a few seconds long. They're without any kind of doing any sort of smoke and mirrors. They're always 2D. But there are certain things that are so much easier in this than they are in GBG. I can't believe I missed an R in Thoraf as well. I'm gonna have to go in and change that. Okay, so... Oops. So when this object is tapped... Hey LR, good to see you. We're making a game in WarioWare D.I.Y. One button is tapped. And... art is set to... this, then change the art to B. And then when it's tapped and the art is 2, then change the art to 3. So right now I'm just setting up the logic for the multiple taps. So the last one here is tap this object while it's also on art 3. Then... oh, the creature! The creature is a character that we made yesterday on the impromptu Freakyforms stream. It's a creature called Thoraf. The Thoraf, who is a very bossy boss. Nice, okay, so now we change this logic here to be when this switch is on. Let's try this. Fantastic. So we've got the multiple clicks there. Actually, thinking about it, I suppose what I could do is set it so that we have this same setup as I have with the button, but applied directly to the worker, and as you tap him more times, he slowly wakes from his slumber, like a very deep sleep. then like kind of groggy-eyed, and then finally wide awake, so that we don't actually have to use a separate layer for this. And we can tie the different clicks to the different illustrations for the worker. That sounds good to me. Let me go back and do the art for this. And we can have the Thoraf react to the different states as well, the different states and the different clicks.
Hello, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. I started talking and realized I was still muted.
Oh no.
I hate when that happens.
I feel like I'm so paranoid about doing that. I feel like so far I've been very fortunate to have not fallen into that trap myself when it comes to starting a stream, but I know one of these days it will happen, especially because I am such a professional streamer. I feel like we're counting down the days till I eventually do that.
No, I remember one time during a stream, I think I was streaming Minecraft. I think I was on like Hypixel or something, and the first 2 hours of the stream, perfectly fine. I switched to my take a break screen to get stuff done for about 20 minutes. I get back and I'm like, alright, let's play some build battle, and for about 45 minutes I was talking about how, oh, these builds are really good. I forgot to switch the take a break screen back to Minecraft.
That I do all the time.
It's so annoying.
I'm so bad at it, and I feel so bad for chat because particularly the time that I beat the second to last boss in Metal Gear with the drink break screen.
Oh.
And you can just see chat, like, as the stream catches up, chat just yelling, like, drink break screen still on.
Nah, the worst part is whenever, like, this happened to me in Minecraft, this is when my, like, Twitch stream views were, like, incredibly low. Like, you know how, like, everyone has that beginning stage where, like, they get barely any views?
Yeah.
It wasn't until a friend randomly joined the stream, was like, hey, your screen was off. How long was that off for? And I'm like, oh.
The whole time.
It was like 45 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I completely empathize with that because I've been there so many times. Let me just switch over our screens for a second. So what I'm doing now, we came up with a neat concept. It's a pretty simple game, Squishy, but it seems within my ability for today. We click the guy 3 times to wake him up from his slumber. So there'll be 3 different sort of states for this actor. There'll be this deep sleep here that I'm just animating. There'll be like bleary-eyed, kind of half awake. And then there'll be wide awake, which is the win condition. So all it takes is 3 clicks. But I want to make some nice animation to go along with it. So this is our first animation for the sleepy guy, or sleeping guy.
Yeah. Also, yes, Movies XP, you're magic. You predicted my reappearance.
Wow, what a skill.
I just felt Movies XP's vibes as I was grabbing a drink of water and thought, they're calling me.
Well, that's why you didn't unmute, because you had to time it perfectly with movies, and if you'd unmuted too soon, then the prediction would have all fallen apart.
Exactly. The magic would have been gone. See, I planned it. I didn't just forget to unmute my mic.
No. Do you have a upcoming track that you would like to share, or is it something that you'd rather keep under wraps?
Let me have a look. Yeah, I know. I plan these so far ahead. Sometimes I forget the ones I plan ahead until they're out, and it's a surprise for me as well.
Well, yeah,
I'm
if
like,
you're...
oh yeah, I did this one.
Sorry, I was going to say, if you've got things as far out as it sounds, as you were explaining you do, I can imagine. I'd be forgetting so quick.
Yeah. Oh god. I mean, I have a few from Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. I don't have them on me at the present moment, but I did Bim Factory, and I actually did this one on stream. It was Toad Time. I think it was actually the same one you were in.
Yes!
You were watching.
Yeah,
yes, I have that.
It was so good to watch you doing your thing. Yeah, it was Toad Town.
Yes. So those two are happening.
Nice. That would be a really fascinating one, because it will be the first time I've seen you like go from absolutely zero on a song's creation right through to once it eventually gets released, having it up on the channel. So that'll be fun. That'll be a special one to witness once it goes up.
Yeah.
Hey Dallas, I have not played Switch Sports, but I'm interested to see some gameplay. I don't know whether... Chalupa, are you planning on streaming it? You're still here? Yeah, Scrubs. So Scrubs in chat just says, this is my first time seeing WarioWare D.I.Y. I am thoroughly impressed. Scrubs, as usual, I am absolutely not showing this off to its full potential. I definitely, if you've got a way of playing it, I definitely recommend checking it out. I think you'd really enjoy it. And people can do some really crazy things inside WarioWare D.I.Y. If you look back way back on my channel, I did do a stream about the like games that Nintendo distributed through the like download service back in the day, and those are really impressive. The big name games especially are really interesting to see, and the folks playing this game to this day really know how to get the most out of this editor. It's amazing to see.
The community is mad. It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, this is gonna be kind of the bleary, half awake frame.
This dude was me in class. Like,
yes. Yeah, it's a mood for sure. Oh! Arch and Chalupa did a bowling match. Man, in Switch Sports. Oh. Very jealous. Bowling is the one that I think I would be most excited for from that game.
I love Wii Sports Bowling.
Yeah, it's a classic. What is a good... Like, I feel like the Zeds we can only have for when our guy's actually sleeping. Maybe like a... swirls? Like that kind of indicating a sort of, yeah, bleariness, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a kind of...
Kind of like, confused or like...
Yeah.
Flustered.
Yeah,
that's the word.
Exactly, yeah. Alright, so let's delete this frame and copy it. So we'll just have two frames of animation for each state. And I think that'll mostly be like redrawing these swirls and maybe just slightly moving the positioning of the hands. Hey! Early happy birthday to Scrubs!
Happy birthday!
Yeah. I wonder whether you'll be joining us for the GBG community stream next weekend. If it's your birthday then, it would be great to see you. Okay, so I'm just gonna ever so slightly redraw the hands here. Squishy, this might be a kind of impossible question, so if you need either time to think about it or feel free to pass on this. But is there like a particular thing about the Music Maker that you would like to share with everyone that you think perhaps people wouldn't know? It's a little bit like your notes fact, which was, yeah, something I'd never even considered before, that difference. But maybe just because of your familiarity with the editor, is there anything that springs to mind?
So for those who read sheet music, one thing I've noticed is a lot of the sharps and a lot of the sharp notes, they will always be sharps in the Music Maker, when sometimes if you're like going based on a MIDI or sheet music, it will also be down as a flat note. So if something is down as flat in sheet music, you might have to like translate it in your head to what that would mean for a sharp note. For example, a lot of sheet music will say A flat instead of G sharp, like in the Music Maker.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind if you go based on that.
Yeah. Do you find with these like quirks or limitations or whatever, do you find that it really does negatively impact the things that you're making, or does it just feel like, oh, this is something that I'm aware of and this is something I work around? Because I do feel like that about the limitations in GBG that, you know, people watching the stream will be really familiar with, but very often they just feel like, hey, as long as I'm aware of this, it usually ends up being something that I can like deal with, or like I have methods to sort of mitigate. Do you find that's similar in DIY, or do you still really curse those kind of things?
For most weird limitations, I just adapt to them. Like, I'm gonna sound like a weird guru saying this, but to me, like, limitations give me more creativity than like a DAW that lets me do whatever.
Yeah.
But nah, there's still some, like the time signature issue that I basically swirled my breath under because of how annoying they are.
Yeah, I can imagine that's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah. Another thing to know about the Music Maker is, this wasn't actually me, I can't take credit for this, it was someone else in the DIY Discord that mentioned this. Some of the instruments are actually higher or lower octave versions of another instrument.
Oh, okay. Do you have like an example of ones that are like a pair that are like that?
For example, the Mario and the flower. Like, obviously you need to like interchange them like very strategically, because if you don't, like, it will be obvious that they're two separate instruments. But they are like, in fact, that entire like 8-bit set of instruments, they're all just like higher and lower versions of each other.
So I guess you could get kind of a pretty wide range of sounds by matching those up a little bit like we did in ours, but kind of a wider range of sounds than the kind of standard range of notes indicate. Is that correct, or is it sort of within that range anyway?
Yeah, like, for example, like if I was to get the lower scale of the Mario hat, if I was to get the higher scale of the Mario instrument, it might be very similar to the lower scale of the flower.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, that's a cool detail that I was definitely not aware of. But yeah, I suppose another one, as long as you were aware of it, you could maybe even make something cool out of that fact.
Yeah, exactly. Another one that's slightly similar, but obviously not the same, is the piano and the marimba.
Okay.
Marimba is kind of like a higher version of the piano.
That's really interesting. Yeah, like, just to listen to, you wouldn't realize that. Is it that they're identical, or that they're just quite similar sounds?
They're just quite similar, to be honest. Like, yeah.
Nice. All right, this is gonna be our awake dude. Let's do a little exclamation. Whoops. What's chat saying? Who's this worker guy? Unnamed worker guy. Conditions are so extreme in this office that this is just like this guy's just got a number. Okay, so I don't think we need 2 frames for this one. We can just have like wide awake. And I think as long as we replicate the logic that I applied to this button here, we'll have a little working multi-click game. Let me just move the... just move this out of frame to begin with. So it doesn't confuse me while I'm programming the guy.
Okay.
And let's go in and edit the workers. So, replicating exactly what we had on that button, which this was when you were away, Squishy, but Bori very, very helpfully sent through a suggestion for how to pretty easily do a multi-click element. So, oh yes, we have the pleasure of adjusting speed and stuff here, now that we have an animated actor as well. Let's put him there so we can't see the fact that he doesn't have any lower body. So, when worker is tapped, and the art is set to A, or 1 in our case, then... Oops. Edit the action to change to Art B. Is this the back rooms? It looks like mousy back rooms. It's just a very sad office building. But hey, what a perfect location for the back rooms.
This was a while back, but Scrub says that I wish GBG had options for editor music, and I agree. That's the one reason I don't actually own GBG.
Yeah, I think I love GBG. It's like genuinely one of my favorite games of all time, but there are like parts where I miss the character of WarioWare, because the game is like very stripped back in many ways. I think it does have its own charm for sure, but I love the sort of bombast of WarioWare that is just absolutely not there in GBG, which is weird because I feel like, having gone back and played the Labo vehicle kit stuff, oh, hang on, sorry, let me just add to trigger. There we go. Having gone back and played the Labo vehicle kit, there is so much of that like quirkiness and weirdness in Labo, and there's like the cute kind of helper characters that feels very much like the Penny and Wario dynamic that you get in this as you're going through the tutorials, which just kind of isn't there. I mean, we have Bob and Alice, which are the little kind of sprites, the blue and pink sprite that guide you through the interactive tutorials, but they're not as present as like the tutorial characters are in Labo or Penny and Wario are in this.
Oh, Penny and Wario's dynamic in the tutorials make them just that bit more bearable.
So good. I love their kind of rapport. Wario might be my favorite characterization of Wario in this.
Yeah, you can tell he's greedy, but he kind of does secretly want to learn.
Yes. I just realized I messed up the sprites for our third layer here, but also did I? Oh, I totally did, didn't I? Hang on. When worker is tapped while art is set to 1, change to 2. Worker is tapped, and while art is 2, change to 3. Okay, cool. And then same again, tapped, and art is set to 3. Then turn on the switch. Do you have a favorite track from the BGM, or from the OST, excuse me?
I mean, I feel like I'm technically cheating saying Jimmy's Aerobics.
Body Rock?
Oh, I love it. Body Rock, that's the actual
yeah,
name
yeah.
for it. But yes, love
It's
it.
so good. I feel like the vocal themes in WarioWare are always top tier, but Body Rock has a very special place for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's cheating.
Oh.
I mean, it's only cheating because it's like the best song ever.
Yeah, it feels too overrated to like
Yeah.
choose it, but I mean, I don't care. It's really good.
Yeah, it is. I'm just gonna go back quickly and change the final sprite on the worker before I forget. Any other kind of honorable mentions though for the music?
Ooh, I do really like the music in I almost said Penny's games. No, Mona's like before you go into each micro game, the doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle, I love how like they made that sound. It's so nice.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the instrumentation on that. We might have to dip into that just at the very end, so I can have a refresher.
Yeah, Ashley's is really good too. I remember.
Yeah, I remember Ashley's being great. I mean, my mind just goes straight to Jimmy, honestly, in this. I really like the character Orbulon, but I dislike playing Orbulon's games in this. Chat will know this, but because his boss level is the sliding puzzle, so cruel. I feel like that always ends my runs.
Nah, like for real though, there is actually like speed runs of DIY. Obviously only one person is on the scoreboard.
Yep.
But from what I can tell, I bet you Orbulon's boss game is literally like a speedrun killer. Like
yeah.
There
There are like particular strategies that you can develop to like solve any one of those, but I don't know whether that would be a skill I would be especially good at, even with those skills in mind, or that like specific strats in mind.
Yeah. Jimmy's boss game, okay, I think that one's definitely more skill-based rather than luck, but I'm not good at it either.
I actually can't remember what Jimmy's boss one is. It's a keep you up kind of game, right?
It's the one where you play pool or something.
Oh yeah. The physics are so wonky in that one.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes it feels you can kind of just hit it anywhere and it will still go in, but then other times it feels particularly stringent in its in what it will give you.
And sometimes they'll like line it up so that you have almost no choice but to put the white ball in the hole first, which makes you automatically lose.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
That is very cruel. Okay, so if we adjust that's our like idle version of Thoraf, and then that's our yelling version of Thoraf. And I want that to play once we click, I guess. So set out to head and loop. Then tap anywhere on the stage.
Ooh, besides Body Rock, what would you say is your favorite vocal track from the WarioWare series?
The vocal track from the most recent WarioWare, I'm gonna kind of word it that way just in case there are still folks that haven't experienced it. But the one that we got a little taste of your cover of, it's so good. It's so good. And I love the way that they integrated the like lose condition lyrics and stuff into that one especially. But other than that, man, yeah, I think Body Rock would be the next one for sure. Is there one that stands out to you?
Tomorrow, I have a really like nostalgic attachment to Tomorrow Hill from Smooth Moves. Like, I love that song.
Yeah. that feels like just a straight up good song too. You know what I mean? Like, whereas Body Rock's obviously a bop, but it's very very silly. That one feels more like a legit song in many ways.
Yeah. And it just brings me back to college. So in college I studied journalism. This is important for the story.
Okay.
And we had to make a radio show at one point. And so I decided to do my radio show on gaming because I'm a huge nerd.
Nice.
And we had to choose our own music. And most people are choosing, like, you know, and copyright didn't matter because no one was going to see it.
Yeah,
it was just the examiner. So I was like, oh, I'm going to fill it with, like, music from video games. And one of them was Tomorrow Hill. So I put Tomorrow Hill in, and my tutor, who's sitting there like, basically marking me on my radio skill, at the end, she's just like, oh, that's a really pretty song. Who sung it? And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, some unnamed singer they brought in during development.
Yeah.
One sec. Let me just work through the win condition here. Easy. Okay.
Yay.
So we have a working game now. We get to do the fun part, which is sound effects. Always a favorite of mine. There's not going to be that many to add this time. However, I think one for the Thoraf yelling definitely is needed. So let's have a look at the sound effects here. Is there going to be something appropriate in voice? Let's see. I mean, we could do babies, not really right.
I love how chat is just talking about getting fit and thin because of Body Rock.
I mean, maybe Scream. I don't really love Scream, honestly. Maybe something in Creature.
What's this for? The giraffe?
Yeah.
Or
maybe the tiger roar.
Maybe? I don't even know what noise a giraffe makes.
No. Movie says ninja. You mean the Kung Fu sound? I think we're gonna go lion or tiger.
Oh, sorry, my Alexa is going off. Why is it doing that?
Was it Alexa shouting out a suggestion for the sound for the giraffe?
If the suggestion is motion detected at the gates, then sure. Oh, no, we have one of those, like, doorbell things that, like, go off if, like, someone's near it.
Right.
But sometimes, like, the cats will play in front of it and make it go off randomly.
Oh.
Didn't even think of that.
It's okay.
Okay. Which button is it? Okay.
Okay, I wanted a snoring sound that starts right when the game begins. If I do that, I think I need to put an additional action in because we can't add it to this, right? Okay, so push these down and
oh, no, Body Rock stuck in my head.
I know, it was kind of just playing in my head since you brought it up. It's not the worst song you could have looping in your head, to be honest.
True. I mean, I made jokes saying for April Fool's Day once, and that was stuck in my head. That was terrible.
Oh, man. Okay, so... Hang on, did I just mess up the order here? Okay, what's going on here? Sorry, Squishy, I've got myself into a little bit of a pickle here. There we go.
It's okay.
Did chat say anything about their favorite vocal tracks? I guess everyone just is thinking about Body Rock.
Yeah, everyone's just relaying Body Rock lyrics to each other.
Chalupa, I would love to see what you make in DIY or what you previously made. I do intend at some point doing a stream, a little bit like the community streams, where I play through some folks' creations. I know that Bori has left now, but I know Bori has some games from back in the day that they wanted to share with us as well. So, yeah, I definitely would love to check out some people's games at some point. Oh yes, that's perfect for the first click.
Yes.
Second one should be... Ooh, sound went a bit weird there.
Oh, yep.
Maybe Bum, that's pretty good too. And then the last one, I think we'll just add a scream. Yeah.
I don't know, I tried replicating it.
No, it's perfect.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. I think this is a game here. A simple one. One that I will probably like to revisit later down the line, but let's give it a test, make sure it works. Here we go. Nice. Okay. Yeah, not my most complex creation, but I'll take it. The command. What should it be? Maybe just back to work. If we've got enough letters for it. Or maybe wake up. That's a little bit more, you know, in the vein of these kind of commands usually.
Yeah.
I've missed an R here, so let's edit this before.
I should probably say, when's the last time you saved the micro game?
A while ago, so let's fix that immediately afterwards.
Yeah, like, it's a common thing to forget, and I do it all the time, and it's just, I was like, hold on, when's the last time you saved?
Yeah. Thank you, Squishy. I really appreciate the reminder.
You're welcome.
I think it's time to ship this game, though. I think this is...
Oh.
I think this is a pretty alright game. I'm happy with this. We'll do a day one patch down the line, but this is ready for store shelves, I think. What do you reckon? I can't wait to hear that absolute bop of a track that we made. So let's click finish.
Album coming soon.
Yes, yeah. I adore this little detail. Like, there's absolutely no reason that they needed to add this, like, cartridge shape and cartridge color things, but it really feels like such a, like, final action for your little game. Yeah,
so cute.
Yeah, I love this. Do you have a particular one that's catching your eye here?
Ooh. Maybe the third on the bottom.
This one?
Just waiting for the delay.
Sort of third from the left on the bottom row?
Yeah.
That one there.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, I just realized, can you not see my mouse cursor?
No.
Okay, I was like pointing, but...
I never even considered that to be important, so no.
No, it's okay. Normally it's not an issue, but here I was kind of gesticulating over the top of it. I didn't even think to
Wait, were
click.
you using your mouse to circle around the snake?
Yeah.
Oh.
I love this one. This cartridge always reminds me of, like, not bootleg NES cartridges, but like the non-licensed NES cartridges, like the I forget whoever the publisher was back in the day that did the like weirdly shaped NES cartridges. So I think this is a great choice for this. Preference of color for the cartridge?
Maybe orange to match the giraffe.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good tie-in. I think these like mystery boxes would be nice, as they're the things that you have to, like, that's when you pack up your things because you've been fired for falling asleep on the job. And
yes.
Yeah, let's go kind of just like a monochrome, kind of stark look for the label.
Yeah.
Will allow importing. Write a brief description. Let's see. I always find the fact that this has got quite a restrictive number of characters kind of tough. It's like old Twitter. I might just go like, falling asleep on the job is not allowed. If it'll fit.
Might not fit.
Let's see if I can contract it at all. Falling asleep.
Maybe falling asleep, ? Not allowed.
Nice. Yeah, that'll also fit on the lines better, so...
Yeah.
All caps, not allowed, !
Yes.
There we go. Perfect. Chalupa says, Squishy and Dom are such a fun duo. I'll definitely love more DIY streams like this in the future. Thank you, Chalupa, for the kind words. It's been such a treat to not only dip back into DIY, but to get to talk to you, Squishy, about your amazing skills within this game and more broadly as well.
Thank you so much.
Oh, really, it's been a pleasure. So, I'm going to click OK on this. Then I think, are you okay if we spend maybe 2 or 3 minutes at the end here? We'll do a round of Mona's, and then maybe a round of the previous DIY creations.
Sure.
You got that in you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Perfect, okay.
I can...
Do you ever dabble with the comic maker? I feel like that's the one part that I always forget here, and then when I remember, I'm always like, oh man, yeah, the comics are great.
Not really, because, I mean, again, I can't draw, but I think that's actually a common theme at least in the DIY Discord. Like, people will sometimes make comics and then forget it exists, and then
kind of
play it again months later.
Rediscover it, yeah. I think the comics that are built into this game are great as well, and I think they genuinely do encourage you to be like, hey, it doesn't really matter that I don't feel like I can draw, because the actual artwork in there is, for some of the creators, is very basic, but it's about the like humorous premise that they come up with. I think it's really really nice that they didn't go like overboard and have the most complex artwork for every single one of the comics. Some of them are genuinely bad, but in the best way ever.
Yeah.
So was it Mona or Ashley's that you were saying the instruments were really special?
I know with Mona's, it sounded really Egyptian, like...
And
I don't
because
know
it's
how
like
they pulled it
the
off.
temple theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's do some Mona games. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Alright, I've got a high score of 30, which, if my memory... Because I used to start every DIY stream with 1 or 2 rounds of a Diamond Software run. And I was always like terrible on my very first go, like sub 10 sometimes. And then the second time around, I would do a lot better. So I might give this 2 shots, but I don't think I'm going to beat 30 today. But let's see. Also, one of the challenges of playing it on the emulator is obviously when you're using on my legitimate DS, that I have to drag my mouse around. It's not as immediate as the touchscreen, you know, where you can kind of flick around much quicker.
Yeah. This makes me miss Mona's old hairstyle.
Yeah! It's a shame that they changed it. Although, I kind of love the weird development that the art style of WarioWare has taken.
Yeah, I like how most of the characters look now.
Yeah, same. This scene is so beautiful down here. I really love the art and the way that they do the like dithered light, as if there's a sort of torch illuminating the center here.
So pretty.
Yeah, and the text too, the speed up text is really great. Oh, I almost clicked on that instead of in the center. This one's deceptively hard on DIY.
Isn't it? Like,
yeah.
It's so hard.
So tough to line up. I'm glad it's not that tough in real life, otherwise people would be walking around with bruised noses.
No, I just imagine people with like their hand moving in the same
left and
motion.
right, yes. Ah, no!
Like
okay. Sorry, Squishy.
No, it's okay. But yeah.
Oh man, what a bad run. Look, I did exactly as I said, less than or 10 on my first go.
Hey,
Let's try again. Yes. That last game that we played where the little guy is protecting the person from the dragon or whatever it is, obviously not like a unique game idea to this WarioWare, but it is interesting because it's actually one of the trailer games that Nintendo showed off when they were promoting GBG. It like functionally is exactly the same. But there were a couple of WarioWare style games that showed up in the GBG trailer games as well, because there was also do you know the one where you have to like detect whether or not the person is lying about their cards? I think it's a DS one, possibly. It might be in this even. That also showed up in the trailer games.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
See, whenever I think of DIY's trailers, I always think of that one weird American one with the kid throwing pancakes on the ceiling.
Oh yes, yeah. That one's like weirdly high budget, I imagine.
Yeah.
WarioWare DIY did also spawn possibly one of my favorite Wario related things, which is the UK advert has Wario at the end go, Tesco!
I can't believe it's canon that Wario says Tesco.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
It's genuinely my favorite Wario thing ever. Oh, I'm doing mildly better. I made it to the boss stage.
Yeah.
This one's kind of a tough one too, or it can be.
Yeah, especially that wee red dude. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just wondering now, was Charles Martinet the one that said Tesco, or did they get someone else?
It really sounds like him. I would love to know concretely whether or not it's really him or just a sound alike, but it sounds legit.
Yeah.
Elite says if you could make the UI for these though. You mean like you could theme the surrounding? Oh, I've been doing this a lot lately. This is the WarioWare micro game that I've been playing in real life.
Wow, you look a little different, Dom.
Wait! Oh, I had to get both of them, didn't I? Oh man,
Yeah.
I just forgot how that one played. Oof. Put that one close.
Way to go!
Oof.
Yeah.
Pulled that one off.
No bruised noses today.
The artwork on this is so cute.
Oh, Oh, it's adorable. I love the music in the little umbrella one too.
Yeah.
Way to go!
Am I misremembering, or does that very cursed smiley appear in other WarioWares? Or has it just left such a lasting impression on me from this one?
I feel like it does, but it has left an impression on others as well. I think it's actually a moat in the DIY disc.
Oh, perfect, yeah. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna Oh, okay. Oh, I thought I was gonna run out of time.
Nearly.
Yeah, LR says the next one wasn't as cute. Absolutely not. It's terrifying, the cursed smiley.
I just want to appreciate how much Mona has done as a teenager in her life.
That's a very good point.
She's literally the teenage Barbie. I mean, not the teenage Barbie, she's the WarioWare version of Barbie. Like, it's insane.
Yes.
The teenage Barbie. I can talk.
Way to go!
I also can talk. Oh, I certainly can't play WarioWare. 28 though, that's a couple off my record, apparently.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna have a shot at my own DIY creations. I say my own, but actually every single one of these, right back to the first one that I made, was very, very influenced by chat suggestions, so this is really our DIY games here. I have like 3 different shelves. I think the second shelf is the ones that are like modified from the like the freelance games you do for WarioWare, for Wario, excuse me. I forget what they're actually called. I don't know what's on shelf 3. But DIY 1 is like my prime games, so I will say some of these are pretty demented. So if the objective is not clear, what can I say? Just go with the flow on this one. Here we go. Thoraf should be in here too now. Should be in the mix.
Oh.
Nice menial task there.
That's the job the dude got after getting fired.
Yeah, yes. There is such a beautiful recreation of that last game made in GBG. It's so good. Oh, look!
Yay!
That one might be my favorite of these. It's just another simple one, but I just love how it looks and sounds. Oh no! Oh, I forgot. Do I have to click each one?
The animation on that dude was great though.
Yeah, it's just like skating around. The story of this one is so confusing. We were kind of like doing it on the fly, but the lore of that one is that the grandpa doesn't like electronics, so you have to give him hot chocolate, not a phone. I don't know. I absolutely do not know what the deal is with that.
I mean, I'll take both.
Yeah. Love a Minecraft mixed with Pokemon there for some reason.
Pixelmon.
Yeah. Oh, I think the home run one might be my favorite just for the art. I like spent a lot of time on the artwork of home run.
Aww.
Okay, let's try and... Okay, you just have to click it a bunch. The problem I have with these ones is that my micro games are always very easy, so I probably will never lose on this. So let's maybe just go for 1 or 2 more. I think we've seen all of them now. Because otherwise I will be here. Oh, maybe oh no, I think I pulled it out at the end there.
Oh,
just managed
barely.
it. Yeah. The little, like, Ganon promotional image on the background of the home run one always makes me laugh when you spot it. Okay, one last one. There we go. Oh, it's been nice to dive back and refresh my memory on all of those. DIY is such a good game. I want to spend more time with it. I feel like the thing that always happens is 2 hours, or in this case like 2 hours 40, is really not enough time to make a game all the way through. So I always feel like I get kind of the bare bones version of it out in time for one stream. But I should spend more time with DIY. I love it. I have so much fun every time I come back to it. So I hope it won't be as long of a gap between the last one and this one for next time I do this. But Squishy, thank you for making this special day for WarioWare such a special stream by joining. I really appreciate you taking the time to come onto the stream. And like I said before, and as I said to you off mic, it's something that I've wanted to do for quite a while. So I hope people enjoyed it. You were really, really great to have on the stream today.
Thank you. It was an honor being on here. It was great.
Oh, right back at you. It really, yeah, it was an honor to have you. So I'm going to, before I wrap up, I'm going to post your channel link. Sorry for the funky audio. Let me just pause this for a second. I'm going to post your channel link. Folks, if you're not already, give Squishy Pixels a subscribe, or at the very least, check out Squishy Pixels' latest upload, because they're all so fantastic. And if you've enjoyed WarioWare D.I.Y. today, and especially the music side of things, I'm sure you will love Squishy's channel. Yeah, Gumby says subscribe, absolutely. Any kind of, I suppose you've already talked about what's next on your releases, but is there anything else that you'd like to mention? I suppose your wonderful kind of DIY-centric server as well, Studio 21, which I don't actually have a link to now. I can probably grab one.
I'll grab one quickly if you like.
Yeah, perfect, yeah.
Let's see. There it is.
Ginger says...
Yeah,
oh, sorry,
I do
Squishy.
run the DIY Discord alongside, obviously, the mods. It's not just me. I went to post it in the chat and it showed me the rules for your channel, like I'm not here talking. But yeah, I run the Discord along with the mods, and it's a really nice community. We share our creations. It's not just WarioWare D.I.Y. There's also a little section for GBG, and there's channels for just anything people are creating, and the people there are all really nice.
Yeah, really, really nice. I think that's a great kind of unifying thing on the server, is that there is that creative element to kind of everything that's talked about there. And as I've learned with the folks on our Discord, that usually means you're going to get some lovely people and some lovely conversations. So I definitely would recommend heading over to Squishy's and the team's server as well. Did you post it, Squishy?
Yes, it's in chat.
Nice. Okie doke. Folks, thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope to see you tomorrow for the GBG community games at the usual time. If you've got a game that you would like to submit and you haven't already, do submit it sooner rather than later, because I will be closing the channel sort of midday my time tomorrow. But until then, thanks for joining us. Squishy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's time to say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you, everyone.